Oh man, oh man, oh. Don't know what to say about this game. All I can say is that the Falcons, man, they did what they supposed to do. The offensive side of the ball, they did exactly what I thought they would do. And that's just, at this point, man, it is what it is. Great freaking game. 3 freaking sacks for Tack McKinley. Just had to take a second there to get my thoughts together, man. These are the Atlanta Falcons. These are the Atlanta Falcons that we heard, forced to deal with. When you have 3 key starters on the defensive side of the ball gone, this is what we did. This is what we have to deal with. I mean, we can sit back and say this is coaching. We can point fingers at Dan Quinn and Stark and Marquand Manuel, but you have 3 key starters. These are a huge part of this Falcons defense. This is a huge part of this Falcons team. You lost. You lost 3 of those guys. Keanu Neal, Deion Jones, and now Rico Allen. Man, look, you can't do anything. I'm really not upset about this game. This is exactly what I expected. I mean, I want my Falcons to win, but at this point, I'm not going to say that the defense stinks. I think these guys are playing up to their capability. But when you have to factor in, when you lose guys like Keanu Neal, Deion Jones, these guys are Pro Bowlers. And now we're not going to start blaming the offense. We're not going to start that bullshit, okay? No, fuck that. You put up 36 points. This is exactly what's supposed to happen when you have 3 key starters. I know you guys are pissed off. I'm pissed off too. But let's use some common fucking sense. What the fuck do you expect when you got Keanu Neal, Rico Allen, and Deion Jones? Do you not expect the offense like the Bengals to destroy us? This is exactly what I expect. Now, I am disappointed in 2 people on the defensive side of the ball. I am totally disappointed, okay? And a lot of these guys. And the first one I have to say is, hold on one second. I don't know what the fuck going on. But yeah, I have to say I'm disappointed in Robert Alford. I don't know what the fuck he was doing all game. But this guy, I expected more from him. He had no clue on how to play today. AJ Green was absolutely torturing him all freaking game. Torturing. He couldn't do anything. He was like he was in full Robert Alford mode. When he starts to panic, he gets penalty. He plays sloppy. Loses all his technique. He just loses his damn mind. The defense is exactly what I thought it would be. Let's stop kidding ourselves. We're not a playoff team. This wasn't on Oliver, okay? It wasn't on Oliver. And for me, that's just poor safety play. And who was the safety in that play? Brian freaking Poole. Another guy that's been targeted by all season. All season. It's about time that we realize that this guy is just not good. He's not good enough to be a backup safety, a strong safety, free safety, cornerback. He's just not good. Brian Poole just needs to go. Simple as that. He's just not that good. But let's stop kidding ourselves to think that we actually have a chance of stopping an elite offense like the team is a great offense, okay? Make no mistake about it. Oliver is definitely improving. I like I saw him, but when you have your look, man, Rico Allen and Keanu Neal, those guys are Pro Bowl safeties, Pro Bowl caliber safeties. Keanu Neal is a Pro Bowler. These guys can play. Deion Jones is a. You're missing 2 Pro Bowlers and a key person in Rico Allen on the defense. He gets everyone in play. He gets everyone in rhythm. He gets everyone in the spot. This guy was horrible, all right? Today, Brian Poole would show me again why Dan Quinn just needs to let this guy go. Why the hell are you looking in the backfield when you have AJ Green coming right out of you? Oliver thought he had help, but no, Brian Poole's late getting over. You can't be late getting over AJ Green. You got to play AJ Green as a safety. Just terrible safety recognition. And I've said this over and over again, and people have just, on my channel, you can look at the videos where I had when I said when Brian Poole is just fucking terrible. How many missed tackles did he have today? Yet another penalty that cost us in a crucial time. This is Brian Poole. He's costing us games. Deal with it, Falcons fans. Sometimes we're just not as good as we think we are. That's fine. We're not good as we think we are on defense. Offensively, we're an elite offense. But when you have 3 key starters on your defense gone, come on, who are we kidding? Who the fuck are we kidding, people? Stop it. The defense, I won't say the defense was, 1-16 worthy. I mean, that offense, we're going to win games. Definitely going to win games, but we're not as good as we think we are. This is exactly what I expect from this defense. But I thought the pass rush would at least, at some point, get us the win. They played excellent. Vic Beasley, Takk McKinley was absolutely relentless. But I think when it came down to it, we lost Grady Jarrett at the end of the game. I don't know what's the issue with him. Maybe it's an ankle, or he had an awkward fall during the game. But, that cost us in the ultimately during the game. I'm not going to get on Matt Ryan. Just stop. All right, that's just fucking stupid. Let's not start the Matt Ryan bullshit. Matt Ryan was not the case. 36 points. Your defense is supposed to make a play. Period, point blank. Dan Quinn with excellent decisions, adjustments in the second half. That's great coaching. But I think one decision that he made that I don't agree with is putting Brian Poole back in the game. If you guys go back and look at this, when they made their run in the third quarter, guess who was? All right, guess who was on the bench? Brian fucking Poole. Brian Poole was on the bench getting as many snaps. They had Richards in the game playing safety. KZ was playing free safety. And they brought back Brian Poole, and he gets beat by AJ Green. And like I said, we had a lot of opportunities, and I'm not going to get into blaming everybody. I'm just going to say Falcons be realistic and say we're not as good as we thought we were. That's totally fine. That's fine by me. I'm not going to overreact over a loss. Cincinnati Bengals has a terrific offense, but defensively, we can't stay with anybody. Matt Ryan has to score 50 points a game for this game to be out of reach. That's impossible. You don't have a secondary. You really don't have any safeties. Trufant is doing the best that he can. Alford, he was just, Lord Jesus. Let's not talk about Alford right now. That guy, Lord Jesus. Just pray for him, Jesus. Because he's going to need it. AJ was a brute abusing his ass. AJ was killing him the entire game. And one play that we missed, one play that we was a sure sign that we missed, Deion Jones, was one play over and over again. Cincinnati just kept using that drag route in the middle. That right there is something, that drag route, that Deion Jones would have seen. If he was on the team, if he was playing, Deion Jones would have jumped that route. That route was open all night long, all day long. Falcons don't have a covered linebacker who can sniff those things out. This is where we left. This is where we are missing Deion Jones. He's that good. He is the linebacker in the league. I think he's better than Luke Kuechly. This guy's that good. So in plays like that, this is exactly where we're missing Deion Jones. We're missing Keanu Neal. Those guys can sniff those plays out. And it allows Rico Allen, it allows players like Rico Allen and Demonte Casey to go after the balls because they can sniff out all the plays underneath. This is where we're missing these guys. So the defense is working, but we just don't have the personnel. It's not the scheme. It's not, we just don't have the personnel. And Falcons fans, like I said, let's be real with ourselves. We're not as good on defense as we thought we were. Pat McKinley and Vic Beasley had an amazing game. They were amazing today. But we're just not good as we thought we were. That's fine. And like I said, this may be a blessing in disguise. This may be a blessing in disguise. You know, like I said, I want the Falcons to go out and compete. Don't want them to tank. But if we just so happen to go 6-10, 7-9, 8-8, whatever it is, we'll be in the middle of the pack and we can possibly, take a chance on moving up in the draft and getting the guy. And like I said, I'm not calling this, I'm not giving up on the season. But this Falcons defense is not as good as we thought we were. It's simple. And Matt Ryan, Golden Rooster. All right, Matt Ryan, he did exactly with 353-yard passing. I mean, what do we want from Matt Ryan? Seriously, what the hell do we want from Matt? He can do it. He's done everything we've asked him to do. He's worked every dime. But the man-to-man, Joe Griffin, the man-to-man defense was exactly what it was. I thought they played, but when you have a guy in the middle with Deion Jones, he can sniff out plays. He can read plays, those underneath plays. Cleveland, but Cincinnati, those guys just kept hitting us underneath. Couldn't get off on third down. And when you have a linebacker like Deion Jones who can sniff those plays out, those drag routes that was running away from corners, those were one of the hardest plays for a corner to make, drag routes. So, like I said, Deion Jones has been missed in this game. I thought this is one of the first games this year that we really missed, and it showed today, where we missed Deion Jones and Keanu Neal. It was killing us on the short routes. The secondary, like I said, I'm not going to be too hard on these guys. I think True Fun and Alford are doing the best they can, but when you have two Pro Bowl safeties, caliber safeties, and a Pro Bowl linebacker out, I mean, what the hell do you want from this defense? Do you really think the Falcons are that good without those guys? Stop kidding ourselves. Let's be real, people. And I'm not, anyone else is not, any less of a fan because we're just being truthful. These guys are not as good as we think they are. And it's fine. That's simple. I like what I saw from Oliver. I think he's going to be a terrific corner when he learned the defense. But it is what it is, man. And it's like I said again, yeah, Golden Rooster injuries are a part of the NFL, but we got to try to make salvage what's left of the season. Like, man, look, I really don't give a damn if y'all agree or not, but we're not as good as we think we are on defense. And you can sit up here and pretend all the fuck you want to. And like I said, I am not going to pretend like this Falcons defense won't get shredded up by a terrific offense like Cincinnati. These guys are terrific offense. And right now, our secondary, when you missing 3 damn near Pro Bowl caliber players, what the hell do you expect to happen? These guys are still young. But Rashawn Thomas, I think it's time to just give up on Brian Poole. He's costing us games. He doesn't think, he reacts, and I know everybody likes the sacks. Everybody likes the big hits that he gets, but Brian Poole in coverage is fucking trash. Garbage. He's horrible. He's costing us games. He really is. And I like what I saw from Ito Smith. I think he's terrific back. Falcons have a number of things, a number of routes they can go with not Duke Riley, but Ito Smith, Tevin Coleman, and Devontae Freeman. They can do a number of things. So, like I said, it may be a blessing in disguise, man. It may be. It really may be. Just have to let everything play out. The season is far from over. We're only 1-3. Season far from home, and I like what I saw from Duke Riley. I think he's playing much better, more experienced. But the defensive line, I thought they played excellent tonight. Deidre Sanat, Grady Jarrett, Tat McKinley, and Vic B was absolutely phenomenal. These guys was phenomenal. So I like what I saw from the defensive line. They came to play. They played, but unfortunately, the secondary didn't play up to. They played up to their caliber, but no, these guys just aren't any good against an offense like the Bengals, and that's just honest. And Joe Griffin, like Joe, I think let's just, like I said, I'm all about facts, and the Falcons is just, they're not as good as we think they are. And it's simple. Like I said, I don't live in the fantasy world, man. I look at the team and what we can do at the moment, and we really don't have safety. DeMonte Case is still learning. Jordan Richards, Brian Poole, those guys are freaking trash in coverage. Just face it. We're not as good as we think we are. The offense like I said, the offense have to score at least 30, 40 points to even have a chance of winning. That's how bad we are right now. It really is that bad. No, I'm saying, I know you guys ain't complaining about Matt, but I know it's coming. Every time something goes wrong, they just have to point at Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan should have did this on this. He's the offense scored 36 points. That's enough. That should be enough for any other defense in any NFL team. 36 points is enough. The defense has to do their job. Falcons were exactly lunatic Falcon, exactly, man. A Falcon, wow, good. Matt Ryan is putting up his numbers, like 419 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 to Calvin Ridley. Julio Jones doing his thing. Is doing great. But like I said, man, You need to stop kidding ourselves by thinking this Falcons defense is good as we think they are. They're not that good. They're really not that good. And that's why I said go to Rooster. 3rd and short, no drag routes. Deion Jones would have saw those things. This is what you look for in linebackers. Linebackers that can cover, linebackers that can run. Deion Jones would have saw that coming. He would have made that adjustment and see it. Those 3rd and long drag routes by the Bengals were killing the Falcons. You can't ask a corner you cannot ask a corner in true fun. Don't give a damn how good he is to have him running across the field with the guy that runs at least a 4.3, 4.4. You're asking a lot for your corners to do that. So, like I said before, we got to just come to reality and just say, without Deion Jones, without Keanu Neal, the Falcons just aren't that good. It's that freaking simple. No, he didn't cover the outside. No, that's all safety. Brian Poole didn't get over. Brian Poole, again, blown coverage. Brian Poole has to get over. That's AJ Green. You can't allow AJ Green to get that open. Both of those guys. Oliver has the outside contained, but where's the safety to even try to get the hit on him? Brian Poole was nowhere near AJ Green. Brian Poole was nowhere near AJ Green playing safety. This guy can't even play safety. He can't play corner. He can't play safety. At some point, I know you recruited him, Dan Quinn, at Florida. Well, you have to come to the realization that this guy is just not as good as you think he is. I don't think DSGB, I don't think the Falcons defense sucks. I just think they're just outmanned right now. Like I said, when you're down Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, Rico Allen, that's exactly what's going to happen. Tack McKinley played his, Brian Duncan, Tack played his heart out. Great game. 3 freaking sacks. And you see right here doing his dance. He and Vic Beasley, Grady Jarrett, those guys came to play. But unfortunately, we lost Grady Jarrett. You know, just one of those things that happened to the Falcons, man. An injury at the wrong time. Just things just can't go our way at the right time. And we have to find a way to get over that. And Drew Pinkney, yes, Oliver released. But the safety has to get there. Period. The end. The safety wasn't there. Maybe Oliver could have got a little bit deeper, but there's no reason why Brian Poole shouldn't have been there to at the very least, try to put a hit on AJ Green and dislodge the ball. He was nowhere near. And Celeste, like, please, y'all need to just stop with True Fun. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, people. Just stop it with True Fun. You think True Fun sucks? I don't know what the fuck you was looking at. I don't know what the fuck a lot of you guys were looking at. But Brian Poole, Robert Alford, I don't know what the hell all Robert Alford was doing. He was getting beat from the very damn first whistle. That was killing him all game. So, like I said, man, y'all, I don't know what you guys are looking at, but True Fun, that's probably the best secondary guy we have right now. Just stop it. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. At some point, you got to realize that Brian Poole is a weak link on this thing. Every time it was a big penalty, on Brian Poole. And guess what? AJ Green caught the winning touchdown right in front of Brian Poole. So at some point, you got to realize maybe Brian Poole is the weak link. Maybe it's not Robert Alford. Maybe it isn't True Fun. Maybe they're holding, maybe these guys are just being held back because they have to cover guys because of people like Brian Poole who can't cover for more than 2 seconds. Can't do anything. D-line did good, but Falcons had to put up at least 30 points a game. The Falcons even have a chance at winning with this defense. But Matt Ryan is a top quarterback. There's no mistake about it. And what we need to laugh at Taffy level, what do we need to talk about? Talk about what? Great game by Matt. Exactly. Austin Hooper had to do a lot of blocking today. The Cincinnati front line's pretty good, but I think he had to do a lot of pass protection. He made a big play when he needed to. And please stop with the True Fun. All right. Just stop. Thomas Albert, stop it. All right. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Just stop it, people. If you want to say the True Fun needs to take a pay cut, then we can do that. But stop with the True Fun is fucking garbage shit. You people are absolutely the reason why I say look at film. Watch film. If you are a football fan like you say you are, as you believe you are, watch film. Go to Unintentional Grounding, Lieutenant Dan, and watch film. He breaks film down. Okay? Stop it, people. Just because a receiver gets the catch on the corner doesn't mean the corner sucks. Sometimes there are blown assignments by safeties that we don't really see. I mean, Robert Alford was fucking garbage today, but no, we're not. We're not talking about Robert Alford. We're talking about Desmond True Fun. We're not talking about how garbage fucking Brian Poole was. We're talking about True Fun. Who fucking cares about his contract? We need the other guys to step up. This is a team game. I don't give a damn about his contract. It is what it is. But when you have guys that are playing worse than True Fun, and you want to call True Fun out of the bunch, come on, bro. Y'all need to get with it. Like I said, if you want to watch film and want to be right, correct about whose fault is who, go watch Lieutenant Dan, Unintentional Grounding. Okay? Falcons have a lot of problems, and it's just not True Fun. Falcons have a lot of issues on defense. Stop trying to single out one player. We have enough of that, Falcons fans. Single out one player because we think this player should be better than it, whatever it is. But when you have issues on defense, your best players are going to have to suffer. They're going to suffer. Like people, like I said before, drag routes are one of those things on the defense, or you have to have communication because you're going from one side of the field to the other side of the field. If communication is off, that's an easy catch for a receiver, an easy catch for a tight end. That's an easy catch. It's all about communication. And that's why I say this is one of those games where we missed Deion Jones, because Deion Jones would have sniffed that drag right out. maybe he would have jumped in front of it and picked it off. These are the things that if you watch film, you can't just say it's one player. It's all about communication. It's all about watching film and, trying to figure out who was responsible for these plays. And the end result isn't always accurate. Trufant played terrific, considering the fact that he really doesn't have any safety help. Brian Poole is trash. Jordan Richards is trash. I mean, KZ is doing his best. Other than that, seriously. People, we got to get with it. The Falcons just aren't as good as we think we are. Brian Ashley, who fucking cares about the Rams? The Rams may not make it to the Super Bowl either. This is the NFL. Anything can happen at any time, as we already know. Who in the hell would have thought we had 3 starters, 3 key players on the defensive side of the ball out? How many teams in the NFL can recover from that? Picture if the Rams lost Aaron Donald, they already lost a key to lead, Marcus Peters. Picture losing all 3 of those guys in the same season in 4 games. What do you expect to happen? Answer that. What do you expect from the Rams if they lost Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, and Aaron Donald all in the same year in a 4-game span? What the hell do you expect? You're going to get the exact same thing what the Falcons are going through right now. Defensive struggles. So we got to get our head out our ass. This is not Madden. Okay, people? This is not Madden. This is not a game of Madden. We're not as good as we think we are on defense. But Boyd, like I said, Boyd has a big game because the Falcons are missing key players. That drag route was open all freaking game because you have to have communication on those drag routes. If a linebacker doesn't see that you're passing him off, guess what? Trufant has to continue to run with him. He can't pass a guy off. And so this defense, like I said, we're not as good as we think we are right now. Grady Jarrett left with I thought I heard Grady Jarrett went out with an ankle injury. I'm not sure exactly, but he did go out. He didn't return. He returned, was questionable at the end of the game. Falcons desperately need some pressure up the middle, and they didn't get any pressure up the middle. So we definitely missed Grady on that last possession. Because Tack and Vic Beasley were absolutely gassed at the end. Those guys were great today. Tack McKinley especially, but Vic Beasley came to play. Like if we had Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, Rico Allen, it was a complete difference. We would have blew these guys out. Especially with the way this offense is clicking right now. We would have blew those guys out. We would have blew out the Eagles. Even then, shoot, the Eagles, good gracious. We was losing guys then. We lost Keanu and Deion Jones the same freaking game. Just too many injuries. And like I said, this could be a blessing in disguise where Falcons pick up a pick somewhere in the middle of the pack. Like I said, I'm not giving up on the season. The Falcons are only 1-3. They still have a ways to go with a fairly easy schedule. But with this defense playing the way it is, and the offense, offense has to score 40 points to be in the clear. All right. They have to score 40 points because this defense can't stop anyone. Alford was pitiful all day. I just Alford he totally disappointed me. I thought he would play much better than this. You going against AJ Green and you act like you've never played football before. True front was as good as I expected to be under the circumstances. Like the Falcons, like I said, the Falcons do not have a starting safety. That is huge, people. We have all backups starting for the Falcons right now. And KZ, he got a yeah, KZ is getting better, but Falcons just don't have quality safeties right now, man. And yeah, stop it, get some help. Man, seriously, man, as Falcons fans, we have to just stop. This is not a game of Madden where you can turn the sliders up and you can, put in cheat codes and all that shit, glitches. No, this doesn't happen that way. You lost Keanu Neal, Deion Jones, and Rico Allen. A struggle. Like I said, I'm not angry that we lost. Let me rephrase that. I'm not surprised that the Falcons defense played the way they did because, like I said, we lost key players. But we're not as good as we think we are, Falcons fans. It really isn't. Not to say that Falcons can, put together a good performance and maybe put on 2 or 3 winning, winning streak. That could still happen. With Tack McKinley, Vic Beasley, and the offense playing the way they playing right now, it could very well happen. But defensively, we're not as good as we think we are. Brian Poole just has to go. I think at some point you have to realize, Dan Quinn, that Brian Poole is not as good as we think. Brian Poole is a good blitzer, but his tackling has been suspect. His decision has been suspect. And he's just god fucking awful in coverage. You don't want Brian Poole in coverage with anybody. At some point, like I said, I was more upset with Brian Poole not getting over and laying a hit on AJ Green. Brian Poole was nowhere near AJ Green. Oliver was playing his position, doing what he was supposed to, but the safety was nowhere near him. AJ Green pretty much wide open. Because Oliver thought Brian Poole had him. But no, Brian Poole was looking whatever the fuck he was looking at and allowed AJ Green to get wide open in the corner. So at some point, I thought in the second half, in the third quarter, Dan Quinn made a decision to put Jordan Richards in the game. And we didn't see Brian Poole for a good minute. We really didn't see Brian Poole for a good minute. And the Falcons played well without him. But got right back in the game. Gave up big plays again. So, like I said, I know people like Brian Poole because he can get sacks. He can, every now and again, he can get a big hit. But fuck that. I need you to be a good cover guy. He needs to get better cover. And I don't think he's going to get any better than what he is right now. Brian Poole is who he is. Eric Reed, I just don't. I know people just, we could have got Eric Reed, but I just don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure if I would have went that route. I don't know what he has left. I know he's a pretty good player, but I don't know what he has left. I don't know if he fits well in this scheme. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But you have to take one thing in mind, that when you pick up a free agent that doesn't know the system, it takes time for that guy to learn, what the Falcon team to do. So we probably wouldn't have had an immediate impact from Eric Reed anyway into at least 1 or 2 games. The Falcons contracts, like I said, I think it may be a blessing in disguise because the Falcons may get a pick that's somewhere in the middle of the pack, and they won't pick, so far down in the draft. Luckily, we got Calvin Ridley, the 26th pick. But, man, right now, the Falcons defense just isn't very good. They're just not very good. Simple as that, people. Offensively, Drew, offensively, I think the Falcons are pretty damn good. We all can, say that Calvin Ridley is the real deal. Julio is Julio. Tevin Coleman had a pretty good game today. But the Falcons defense just isn't really good. That's what it comes down to. I don't think Golden Rooster, I don't think Coleman is getting a contract. I like his ability. I love he's an excellent compliment. I don't think he's a feature back because I've seen, again, for the second game in a row, Coleman is pretty bad when it comes down to cutback. Seeing holes, a running back has to have good vision. And right now, Tevin Coleman doesn't have very good vision. And we saw that today. Even Bruce Arians, the brilliant offensive coach, was the Arizona coach and Pittsburgh offensive coordinator. This guy's brilliant. And one thing that he said during the game, that Tevin Coleman just doesn't have good vision. He's a terrific complimentary back. But this is the time where I wanted to see where Tevin Coleman, if he could be a feature back. And the way he played today, the last couple of games, I don't think he's a feature back. I think Devontae Freeman is the feature back because he has that vision and he has that ability to cut back. It's okay to have your favorite Falcons, but the fact of the matter is Tevin Coleman doesn't have good vision. And that's why the Falcons decided to pay Devontae Freeman. Devontae Freeman's vision, his cutback ability, he may be a little lackluster in the pass blocking, but his vision as a running back is elite. Coleman just isn't. So I don't think Coleman, at this point, I don't think he deserves to be a starting running back. I think he comes back with the Falcons with a much less contract. I would say so in the neighborhood of, 3 years, $30 million. I don't think you pay him big money. I haven't seen a feature back from Tevin Coleman. I haven't seen that. No, Celeste, no, I watch. I'm not biased towards True Front. If you think Alford was great, I don't know what the bloody hell you was watching. That dude was getting torched all damn night, okay? All damn day. Okay? I don't know what the bloody hell you was watching. If you think Alford played great, then call me shit. Who's a damn great head coach? A damn guru, because we know it's not John Gruden. Call me Bill Belichick. Call me Bill Parcells. If you think Alford played great, all right. Alford was trash today. And we're gonna go against Antonio Brown with no safety. Oh my gosh. I just hate to see what it's gonna. Oh my gosh. I just hate to see what is going to happen when you have Antonio Brown and Juju coming in to face our secondary without a good safety. It's going to be bad, people. It might be another shootout. But Pittsburgh is not really good on defense. Their defense is just as bad. Those guys are horrible. They have their starters, and they still horrible. So the Falcons have a chance to win. Pittsburgh. I think the Falcons have an excellent chance of beating Pittsburgh. But you're gonna have to have good pass rush. I think Ben Roethlisberger at this point in his career doesn't have a ton of mobility, so the Falcons will have opportunities to, get to sack him. But bringing him down, he's like Cam Newton. He's a big quarterback, and it's hard to take him down. So, man, Falcons are gonna have to do something about those drag routes because they were exposed by the Bengals today with those drag routes. The linebackers, they have to play much better. I thought they tackled much better this game. But yeah, man to man, those drag routes, I think at some point the linebackers have to play much better also and recognize those are drag routes and jump those routes, and put at least limit these guys to short yards and not give up so many big plays with the drag routes. I think that was really what killed the Falcons today. And like I said, man, I'm not a big advocate on Trufant having that big contract. I think he is one of those players that has the ability, but we're looking for him to be a Deion Sanders. We're looking for Trufant to be a shutdown corner, and Trufant just isn't a shutdown corner. It's fine not to just have a very good corner. He doesn't have great hands, but Trufant is a terrific corner. He's not a shutdown corner. Jalen Ramsey is not a shutdown corner. Julian Bolden, how did I think Riley did? I think Duke Riley, he's getting much, much better. He's coming along well. I think he's seeing the field a lot faster, especially now that Devondre Campbell is making all the calls on defense. Riley is playing much, much faster. He's not missing any tackles. He's playing faster. He's recognizing things, but he still isn't Deion Jones. Deion Jones is, in my opinion, I think he's the best linebacker in the game. That's just my opinion. I think Deion Jones is the best linebacker in the game. And we're seeing tonight, seeing today that how good that he really, really is. DSGB, I think the Falcons' depth is pretty good, but you lost 3 key starters. That really, we lost 3 key starters in the first 3 games. That really doesn't happen to any team. Okay? You don't really lose that many starters that early. I think it's just a bit of bad luck. No, I think the Falcons do have tremendous depth. But you can't lose 3 Pro Bowl caliber players and expect to contend. Just not. It just really isn't realistic. And Falcons fans, we just have to realize it. It's just not that good. We're not that good right now. On defense, we're not that good. And Duke Riley, hardly any missed tackles. I agree, totally agree. But, Drew, 4 games in a row that came down to the last play. That shows you that Matt Ryan is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Patrick, 3 penalties away from, 4-0. I think there was some bad calls, but some bad penalty, Trufant penalty, number of penalties, offensive line holding and whatnot. Just bad penalties at the wrong time. It is what it is. Like I said, I just don't think the Falcons are as good as we think we are. I don't think, Drew, the Falcons beat themselves every game, but like I said, you're dealing with guys that haven't had a lot of time playing. All right, these guys were backups. The guys, Duke Riley, DeMonte Casey, Brian Poole, for the most part, is a backup. These guys don't get starters minutes. So we're really kidding ourselves. Think we're going to be a elite without those guys. Like I said, we got to stop kidding ourselves. Falcons are not as good as we think they are on defense right now. It's just that simple. And Steelers putting up 60. At this point, I don't see. I can't see the Falcons defense, the secondary in particular. These guys are playing horrible. So it's gonna be difficult to try to stop that Steelers offense. Maybe, Le'Veon Bell still hasn't came back this year, and I don't think he will. But it's gonna be difficult to try to stop those Steelers. You're gonna have to score a lot of points in that game. There may be another shootout. Why does Hooper never get a pass? Because you have Calvin Ridley and you have Mohamed Sanu, who acts as a tight end. He plays more in the slot. Calvin Ridley is a guy that you can line up on the outside and you can, get one-on-ones. But Hooper is a guy that the Falcons use more in the end zone as a red zone target. But like I said before, man, I don't think, Austin Hooper, he is what he is, but the Falcons have so many weapons on offense right now that you have to, it's hard. It really is hard to try to, get guys the ball when you have Julio, Calvin Ridley, Mohamed Sanu, Tevin Coleman. That's a lot of balls, okay? That's a lot of balls to go around. Somebody's going to get left out. I'm not ready to say that we should have got Eric Reed. Not right now. Because we still have no idea how Eric Reed is going to play. After I finish this, I'm going to go see and watch the Panthers game, but try to see what's up with them. I don't think Eric Reed. I think he's a terrific player, but I think he's a good player. I think it would have took time for him to get acclimated in this system. He doesn't know the system, so I'm not ready to say, what Eric Reed can or cannot do at this point. Like I said, man, I don't think Falcons fans, seriously, I don't know why we're so upset that the defense is playing like this. I get it because you want to win, but at the same time, you just have to be real with ourselves, man. The Falcons just aren't as good as we think we are. These guys are just not any good. They're backups for a reason. Ken O'Neal, Deion Jones, Rico Allen, those are vital parts of this defense. These guys are gone. And when they're gone, you're going to see the defense play exactly like this. And Julian, like I said, I'm not panicking because the Falcons offense has capability, big points and carrying this team. The Falcons just need to find the break. They're just not getting the breaks right now. Making the plays at the right moment. Simple as that. I think Devontae Freeman can help in certain areas, especially in the running game, because I think, as much as I love Tevin Coleman, Ito Smith, those guys doing great. But Free, just his ability, his cutback, his vision, his hands. Free is a hell of a player, okay? Freeman is a hell of a player. Bryant Duncan, the Falcons are going 11-5, so that means the Falcons have to go 10-2. All right, whatever. They have to go 10-2 if they're going to go 11-5. It is what it is. If you believe it, you believe it. But I need to see the defense improve before I make a prediction on what the record may be. Then again, I will make a prediction what the record will be based on the performance so far. The way the defense is performing, I think the Falcons more realistically can be 7-9, 8-8. But the defense has to improve. We're going to be any better than 7-9 and 8-8. Just don't have the playmakers on defense. If we somehow get Jones back and he can come back. The Falcons can, win 3 games in a row, get up to about 4-4 or 5-4, some in that area, and get Deion Jones back and make the defense play much better. Falcon can salvage this season. It's not over. It's not over by a long shot. Like I said before, when you have a Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, you still have a chance to win. So this season is still not over. But we need the defense to play much better. I'm not sure if I would bring Devontae Freeman back. I would still keep him out at least 1 or 2 more games, especially if we win the next two games. If we win the next game against the Steelers, I would leave Devontae Freeman out for at least 2 more weeks. And as far as Earl Thomas is concerned, the Falcons just don't have the cap space to sign a trade for Earl Thomas. I think everybody just think, it's okay. The Falcons can, just trade for Earl Thomas, but the Falcons, you still need cap money to see if a guy can fit in on the team. And the Falcons don't have the cap space to, trade for a Earl Thomas. But yeah, I think it's too much pressure on the offense. The offense is doing great right now, but when you got to score 40 points a game to try to put this game out of reach, yeah, you asking too much out of way too much out of the defense, out of offense. Matt Ryan is, if it was any other team, I think, if it was any other team, man, I think, Matt Ryan, I might be in the minority. I think Matt Ryan is playing probably the best ball, since, I think he is very close to being, if he continue this pace that he's on, passing, hitting Calvin really a touchdown, Matt Ryan is playing brilliant right now. Oh Lord, here come that damn ghost of Judah tribe. Like, dude ain't got no life. I think he fucked his mama. I think he fucked his sister. I think he fucked everybody, all right? Ghost of Judah tribe. Ain't got no damn life. Get a life, bruh. Where's your team? Go worry about your own damn team. Stop fucking your mama. Stop fucking your sister. Stop fucking your cousin. All right? Take your ass on wherever the hell you came from. Go worry about your Chicago Bears or whatever the fuck they is. Whoever your team is. Worry about yourself. But the way Golden Rooster, I think the way this defense, the defense design, the way the defense is playing right now, I don't think we're looking at a winning season. We'll be lucky if we are 8-8. It can happen. We're gonna need the defense, the offense to carry things. But realistically, the way things are playing, way things are going right now, we're looking at a 7-9, 8-8 season. And Falcons fan extraordinaire, True Fun is routinely beaten. Well, drag routes and crossing routes has everything to do with communication. Because when guys are going across the field, it's all about communication and passing players off. The Falcons play in a zone, a cover 3 zone. So that means if a safety isn't paying attention, whether it's the middle, the strong safety or the free safety, those guys aren't communicating with the corners, the linebackers aren't communicating, guess what? It's going to make the cornerback look bad. It's all about communication. So it's not all just True Fun's fault. It's, the defense in its entirety, to be honest. I think we'll be 3-3. Celeste, I think we'll be, games. These games are winnable. Definitely can beat the Steelers, but like I said, they have a pretty good offense. If the Falcons continue to, play well on offense and, get, turnovers at the right time, the Falcons can win. Like I said, it's not over. But the Eagles talking to Bell, you still have to pay this guy. Eagles just want to rent this guy, all right? The Eagles want to rent him. You still got to pay him. Le'Veon wants his money. Eagles still have to pay Carson Wentz real soon. And they have a big contract in, Nick Foles. He's making too much money to be a backup. So the Eagles don't have as much money as you think they do. David Wright, what's good, man? David Wright, with 25% of the season gone, I still believe we can be successful. I don't disagree that the Falcons can be successful. I think at some point you have to come to the realization that this defense just isn't really good. They're just not as good as we think they are. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Falcons have to find a way to get turnovers and try to mask some of the deficiencies on defense. Because, like I said before, when you leave Brian Poole in coverage, bad things happen. We've seen that for the last 3 games. When Brian Poole is in coverage, bad things happen. And Brian Poole is getting having bad penalties. Head-to-head head-to-head contact players. Illegal hits. I mean, you saw that trash crap that he did, last week against Drew Brees, missing tackles. Brian Poole is playing like absolute trash right now. So they have to find a way. You really have to find a way to try to get Brian Poole. I really have no idea what to do with Brian Poole right now. I just don't. I have no idea what to do with Brian Poole, man. I'm just so disappointed. And Dan Quinn realized that this guy just isn't as good as he thinks he is. Yeah, that's right. Panther is on a bye. I think maybe Ron Parker, maybe the Falcons bring back a Ron Parker. I mean, he can't play any worse than Brian Poole. I'm serious. He can't play any worse than Brian Poole right now. Brian Poole is just trash right now. But David, that's the thing. Brian Poole was at safety on the last play against on the last play where AJ Green caught the touchdown. He just isn't good in coverage. He's a liability in coverage. Yes, he fits naturally at safety, but he's just not a very good player in coverage. He just isn't. He really isn't. And I like him. I like Brian Poole, but he just isn't a very good player in coverage. Kent Jackson. Don't worry, y'all probably whoop my Bucks after one bye week. Yeah, the Bucks they lost 45-3 today. All that Fitz magic and all that silly ass costume, jewelry, and all that shit he had on. Fitzpatrick is right exactly what I thought he would be. Garbage. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he got back in the game. I'm not sure exactly, but I heard that it was a Winston sighting today. So I have to look. Maybe one of you guys can confirm that. Maybe James Winston did get in the game today. David Wright, yes, the Falcons were 28th in defense. They made the Super Bowl. But those guys came on late. They played tremendous defense late. So, but then again, we had rookies and these. Look, I'm not abandoning ship, but right now, all I'm saying as a Falcons fan and a realist, that we're not as good as we think we are on defense, and it can improve. I saw improvements from last game to this game, and in the second half, they only scored 28. Yeah, they only scored like 10, 11 points in the second, 12 points in the second half. So, defense made adjustments. It's just not very good. And David, like I said, the Falcons offense is elite. But even elite offense need the defense to get key stops at some point. This defense is not getting any key stops. These guys have to be absolutely perfect on offense. Defense, we could be looking at 9-7, and way the NFC is, is right now. Who knows what might happen? Like I said, anything can happen during the season. Anybody can get hurt at any time. And we're looking at the Falcons, the Saints. Don't know what the score is with the Saints, but we just never know. The NFC South is still wide open. These guys are like one game, separate from first. Now the Falcons, they have to win. They have to win. Falcons have to win at least most of their remaining division games. They can't afford to lose any division games anymore. They have to beat Carolina, Bucks, and the Saints if they want to make the playoffs or have a chance to make the playoffs. But I think Takk McKinley and Beasley had a terrific game. Falcons had, I think the Falcons, they had a very good shot at being 4-0. Just bad penalties, just bad. The Falcons just haven't had the breaks at, during the end of the game. So Dan Quinn is doing a terrific, job with his team. It's just not. Ball just isn't bouncing our ways at the problem. I don't know if it was a drop pick on True Fun. I don't think he had his other hand on the ball. That was a tough play, but True Fun does have kind of, stone hands. He really can't catch it all, to be honest. And like I said, David, I don't think, Falcons fans are naturally negative. That is our, fan base. But we're never out of the playoffs. We're never not out of the playoff picture when you have a Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, and now Calvin Ridley. If we just get these guys, the defense to, stop at, make stops and key positions, kind of limit the offense to scoring under, 25 points, this Falcons team can still make the playoffs. So it's far from over. It's far from over. They only 1-3. That's 12 games left. The Falcons still can make the playoffs. They still can come back. So this is far from over. And Patrick, you're absolutely right. The 3D defense is predicated on having a safety who can make plays, and the Falcons just don't have safeties outside of don't have a safety outside of Demonte Case who can make plays right now, and that's the issue. Have to have guys that can make plays and make plays at the right decision, and Brian Poole is just absolute garbage right now. I think Oliver, we saw some packages where we see Oliver at free safety. Oliver plays pretty good, if you ask me. For a guy that's a rookie, just learning, I think he played pretty good. Yeah, but I don't think, all right, Winston had 2 picks. Wow. Jesus Christ. I don't think the Bucks, like I said, I'm not worried about the Bucks. To keep the eye on the dang If anybody can give me the update on the Saints Giants game. Don't know what the yeah. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Bucks. I think we're gonna sweep them. Jameis Winston is a joke. So that's like I said, man. Falcons is far from over. The season is far from over. The season is far from over. Like I said, I think the Falcons just have to continue to try to find a way to get better on defense. It's all about the defense. Dan Quinn has to try to find a way to get these guys, playing well. But the Falcons, that 4-3 cover 3 scheme, it is what it is. It prevents big plays. They're not getting big plays, but the Falcons just aren't getting off the field. Teams aren't really getting a lot of big plays on the Falcons. They just aren't getting off the field. Simple as that. It's 12-7. Saints. Hopefully the Giants can, do something. But that front line for the Giants, they're garbage, okay? The Falcon Golden Rooster. I think Falcon defense this is something that's very good. Like I said, could be a blessing in disguise. You're getting Tack McKinley. He's only going to get better with more time as a pass rusher. I think he has 6 sacks on the year. Tack is a freak of nature right now. Vic Beasley is doing great. You continue to get Grady Jarrett continues to improve. So the Falcons defense, Duke Riley, he's getting better and better. So you get Deion Jones back and you get Duke Riley, Devondre Campbell, those guys making plays. Man, this Falcons defense is only going to get better next year. And you bring in a guy possibly who can play alongside Grady Jarrett. You have Tack McKinley, Vic Beasley, Grady Jarrett. That's a terrific front line. And you get Keanu Neal, Rico Allen back next year. This Falcons defense could be right back to the top next year. So I am not. I love what I'm seeing from the Falcons, especially young players. Oliver, this is big play. This is big time plays for guys like Oliver. He's getting more experience. And next year, and time goes on doing the defense, these guys can damn sure get better. Like I said, if the Falcons can go 4-4, 5-4, and get Deion Jones back, we're right back in the thick of things. It really is that simple. This season is not over yet. But I think Tack McKinley is the defensive lineman we have. Tack is unbelievable. His speed, his power, his speed to power combination. He's just a freak. He's a problem. Cleveland had no idea what to do with Tack McKinley. 3 sacks on the game? Man, that's crazy. He and Vic was absolutely, I think Dan Quinn absolutely made a move. He moved Tack to left side of the offense and put Vic Beasley at the right end. So that's a great, like Dan Quinn, he does things, that is excellent. Just small moves like that. That's excellent coaching. So the Falcons just have, Falcons have players, man. Falcons have players, and I love DJ. Oh, King, great point. DJ Cincinnati is only going to get better. So the Falcons, my goodness, they're only going to get better. These guys are only going to get better. DJ Cincinnati, Tack McKinley, Vic Beasley. I think they need one more consistent pass rusher. I saw that from Jack Crawford played excellent and pressure. He played great. David, exactly. I think the defensive line, they stepped up big time. And you have a pass rush in the NFL, you have a chance of winning. But these guys are going to get smarter. These guys are going to get more playing time. Guys like Oliver, I don't know what to expect from Poole because he's been so inconsistent. Hopefully, Poole can continue to improve his coverage. But, the Falcons defense is going to get better. Duke Riley's going to get smarter. Duke Riley's going to get better. And I've already seen improvement from Duke Riley. He's finishing his tackles. He's making better reads. He's learning the off. He's learning what Tack McKinley is doing his thing. I just love the Falcons. I love what I'm seeing from the Falcons. I think so. David. I think the Falcons just have to find a way to just salvage the next 3 games. They have to win the next 2 games so they can get Deion Jones back. If they can get Deion Jones back with at least with their record at least 6-4 or 5-4, I think the Falcons can make a run at at the playoffs because Deion Jones, he's an impact player, and the Falcons are missing that guy in the middle. They missing Deion Jones so much on this defense. He really is. He does so much for this defense in running game and as a cover guy. But these guys, Dan Quinn made a tremendous adjustment in the second half. Like I said, man, Quinn, he knows his defense. But right now, he's just behind the 8 ball. And yeah, these is not a great chair. Those guys are clones. They look exactly, they're built alike. They play low. And offensive linemen hate guys like Grady Jarrett because you can't get your arm around these big 300-pound quick guys. You can't get your arm around them. So, yeah, this is a problem, man. Falcons defensive line is going to be a problem. No, King, Matt Ryan did great. Almost 390 yards passing. Just stop. Just stop it. All right. We're not going to get on Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is one of those quarterbacks who if the Falcons were winning, he would be definitely in the conversation of MVP. Right now, Matt Ryan is playing unfreaking believable. Yeah, the goal line with Deidre Sanat, and that's why I say the Falcons missed. Linebacker was on that goal line with the running back. Sanat was so damn low. I think he took out 2. I think he really took out 2 offensive linemen. They couldn't do anything with him. If a linebacker would have went in the hole where Sanat, and this is something, like I said, this is where we miss Deion Jones. Plays like that. He could have stopped the running back in the hole, but you don't have. It really isn't Deion Jones. You don't have Deion Jones who can get and make those plays. So I like Deidre Sanat. I love what I saw from Deidre Sanat. He's only going to get better with time. He's only going to get better in time, and I think he's going to be exactly like Grady Jarrett. Those guys play exactly alike. But I think one thing that Grady he's a little bit stronger than Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett is a lot faster, a lot quicker than Deidre Sanat. But those guys are pretty much clones, man. They really are clones. But David, yeah, man, I think if the Falcons can hold to at least 5-4 or 6-4, get Deion Jones back, these guys can make a play at the playoffs. But They have to win these next 2 games to make that, um, doable. That has to be something. They have to win the next 2 games. They can't start off, 1-4, 1-5. That can't happen. In order for the Falcons to have a shot at the playoffs, a legitimate shot at the playoffs, they have to win the next 2 games, without a doubt. Yeah, Grady is just a better all-around player right now. DJ not still young, but I think this guy in time, as time goes on during the season, he will learn how to use his hand to be a better defensive lineman, rush the passer. But I love he has ability. He really does have that ability to get to the quarterback. His quickness, his strength. I love what I see from DJ tonight, man. Wow. Yeah, that's MVP status. Matt Ryan, David Wright posts his comments. Matt Ryan, 29 completions, 39 attempts, 419 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So you guys, like I said, you need to shut the hell up if you think Matt Ryan was the issue in this game. All right, 36 points, 419 yards passing. What more can this guy do? Seriously, what more can this guy do? But yes, David, I think the Falcons have to win this next game. You have to win this next game. This is a must win. If you want a legitimate shot at winning, going to the playoffs, you have to win that, man. You have to. Yeah, David, man, I love David, man. David is one of those fans, man. He's a smart, intelligent guy. I love his comments. I love him on this, my live feeds, man. And King too, King. Even though you say some crazy shit sometimes, I love when you come on the live chats, man. Seriously, I appreciate it, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. That bullshit. That's what King on that bullshit. I mean, that stat line doesn't tell the full truth. Oh, throw the tight end. Oh my gosh, he got 400. At that point, it was 36 points. Still got to play. Offense did great. Yeah, I think that's wise. Like I said, I don't think Tevin Coleman is a feature back. Just based on the last games that I've seen, and I've seen him and Bruce Arians pointed this out, that Tevin Coleman just isn't really good as a cutback runner. And in this NFL, where you have these super athlete at defensive linemen, you have to have a running back that is good at the cutback. And Tevin Coleman, if he doesn't have a clear lane, he doesn't have very good vision, and he doesn't have the foot quickness like a Devontae Freeman and Edo Smith for the cutback lanes. So at this point, I think the Falcons bring back Tevin Coleman, but he definitely isn't worth a max contract. I think you can sign him somewhere 2 years, about $25 million to be the backup, or 3 years, $30 million contract. But anything over 3 years for Tevin Coleman, I think that's too much. Devontae Freeman did play. I mean, he practiced, but I think the Falcons are just going to be smart with Devontae Freeman. You don't want that knee issue to be, something that lingers. If he gets hurt again, I think you just shut him down for the year. Just let him have his surgery and shut Devontae Freeman down. Bro, stop. All right, King. He literally scored 36 points and 14, 419 yards. Like, you're really gonna pick that apart, one possession, three possessions, like, just stop. You sound crazy. You really sound crazy trying to pick apart 36 points and 419 yards passing. You're trying to pick apart Matt Ryan. Just stop. But I think, David, Ito Smith is a pretty good player. I think it's going to make Falcons going to have a difficult decision, either to let Ito Smith stay or, see. I just don't know. That's a difficult thing. That's really difficult. What to do with Coleman, what to do with Freeman. Because Ito Smith is playing terrific right now. No, the defense didn't seal the deal, okay? Stop. Matt Ryan scored 36 points. I mean, there is a such thing as special teams, defense, and offense. It's just not Matt Ryan. It's just not, it really isn't a Matt Ryan show. All right? Defense have to make plays. Defense didn't make plays at the right time. But yet we want to point at Matt Ryan. Okay, just stop. You sound stupid. Raymond, trade months. I don't think Falcons make a trade. I don't think they have money to make a trade. Looking at the salary cap, I think they're somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 or $5 million. They just don't have it. Falcons aren't going to make a big trade. If they make a trade, going to be for a guy you really don't know much about. But the Falcons just don't have the cap space to make any moves. I think anything in Houston I think Houston, the Texans are going to blow that team up at some point. And I wouldn't want to play for a crap owner they have, Bob McNair, anyway. So who cares about Texans? Trufant contract will most likely be restructured at some point. I think Trufant's contract, he and Freeman maybe, but I think Trufant's contract will be restructured at some point. I think the cap for a little bit, too much. I think you give him you restructure and so the Falcons can have a cornerback. And I think something that we not paying any attention. I really don't think. I think this is probably the last year we may see Robert Alford. Falcons brought in. They drafted a cornerback. They drafted Isaiah Oliver. So you may be looking at the last of Robert Alford. And the way he played today, and the way he's been playing, and Robert Alford is 30 years old. Guy's 30 years old, so we may be seeing the end of Robert Alford here. He's making too much money to be playing the way he is. And King, like, seriously, you really thought the Bengals offense wasn't this good? I mean, the Bengals have a terrific offense. They've always had a terrific offense. These guys just defensively, they just couldn't put anything together. And that's one of the reasons why I never understood why Marvin Lewis is still the coach there. That defense still sucks, and it's getting worse. I think Fowler may be a guy, but he's had a knee injury. Fowler, a guy that may look at him in the free agents. I think the Jazz are going to let him walk. The Falcons may look at him in free agency because they. But then again, he does have some ability, but I'm not sure exactly how much money you want to throw at a guy like Fowler. And David, you're right. Especially with the rules. People thought that the Minnesota and the Rams games were going to be, a 10-6, 17-10 type game. And those games were, a shootout. So maybe this is something that we have to get used to seeing. High scoring games in the NFL. Maybe this is a turn of a trend. Maybe this is a trend that no longer defense will dominate, the NFL. Maybe we're just looking at a new NFL. But I think I really think we're looking at the end of. I think Trufant will restructure his contract, but I don't think it's a. I really don't think it's key. I don't think that the Falcons will bring back a guy like McClain. We already know McClain is probably gone. But we can't underestimate, Robert Alford. He has a tradable contract. So he may either be cut or the Falcons try to get something, for him trade. But I don't think we're going to be seeing Robert Alford long in Atlanta. I don't know what's wrong with King. Like I said, man, he has some good points sometimes. Then he just go in full, dumb and dumber mode. I don't know what the hell he be saying a lot of times. How the hell you bring Matt Ryan for this loss when you have he scored 36 points, 419 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and you still talking about Matt Ryan, doesn't make plays. Like, what the hell are you talking about? No, Raymond, you can't trade Beasley for Fowler. Fowler's not that good. All right. And we seen Beasley. Beasley is a streaky player. When he gets hot, he gets in a pass rushing mode. It's that you see what he did today. He and Takk McKinley was caught wreaking havoc. Those guys were playing. The secondary just couldn't do anything. The secondary was awful today. The front four was terrific. Grady Jarrett, Terrell McClain, Takk McKinley with 3 sacks, Vic with a sack. These guys played their ass off today. It's just the secondary. The secondary just wasn't playing. They just too many injuries right now for the secondary. It really is just that simple. But the Cincinnati definitely has a good defensive line, man. Linebackers kind of suspect. Secondary definitely suspect, but man, it is what it is, man. Like I said, I appreciate everybody, man, for making these lives so fucking live. .400-yard passing. You won't be worried about the overthrow if the defense actually made a play. Defense has to step up. Somehow, like I said, we always had those fans. Despite what Matt Ryan does, he always gonna get, blamed for any and everything. But yeah, David, I think the second halves of the game, we saw Dan Quinn does what he does best. But when you're dealing with those injuries, you can only do so much. And Dan Quinn is doing a hell of a job of coaching his defense with 3 starters out. That's big time coaching, if you ask me. This is probably his best coaching job since his rookie season when the Falcons, his second year when the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. And, you had a team full of rookies. And a lot of his fellow coaches thought he was crazy. They thought Dan Quinn was crazy when he didn't have any freaking I think the oldest guy on the team at the time was Brooks Reed. As a veteran. Falcons had pretty much a team full of young guys, first, second, third year guys on defense. All his coaches thought Dan Quinn was crazy when he did, and we see what he can do. So Dan Quinn is a hell of a coach. I'm not surprised by this at all. I'm not surprised by Dan Quinn as a coach, man. He's doing a terrific job. Falcons defense is still playing hard. They haven't given up. And like I said, next year these guys are going to have more experience, and they're going to play even better next year. So this defense is coming along. We may not see it right now, but these guys are only going to get better. Yeah. But that's what you have to do. Like I said, you have to understand Dan Quinn knows what he has with this defense. We're not very good, so you have to take chances. Why do the top defensive players? I don't know. Payne is all right. I think Payne went early. I think he went before the Falcons. I think Payne went. Payne went early, so they didn't have a time. They didn't really have time to get Payne. He went to Washington before the Falcons got. But I'm glad we got Ridley. Okay, I'm happy with Ridley. It is what it is. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, Julio had 193 yards. Mohamed Sanu 111. Calvin Ridley 6 catches, 52, 2 touchdowns. This dude is absolutely insane. Just like seriously. At some point, you just got to get some help, man. Just stop it. Get some help. Stop it. All right? Stop it. Get some help. Seriously, dude. Get some help. And like I said, everybody's saying, oh, we should get Eric Reed. You remember back when the Falcons had the chance to get Michael Bennett, and he was like, oh, okay, why the hell did we pass on Michael Bennett? Michael Bennett is hurt. Michael Bennett is not as good as he once was. He's not that type of player anymore. It would have gave up a 4th round pick for Michael Bennett and a guy, another old guy that's going to make $8 to $10 million to be on the bench. Nah, bruh. Nah, we good on that. You don't go out spend money just because what a guy did back in 16. All right, Dan Quinn knows better than that. Stats mean a lot stats mean a lot. Okay, just stop it. We wouldn't have even been in the position to win the game if it weren't for those stats. So one thing I do not like was people try to downplay stats, especially when Matt Ryan is concerned. He puts up numbers and you lose the game because the defense can't make a play. And then you have guys like King that say stats mean nothing when you lose. Like, shut the fuck up. Seriously. Please stop. And Earl Thomas at this point, Earl Thomas is not thinking about playing for a championship. He has a championship. Earl Thomas trying to get paid. Falcons are not going to pay this guy. You give up a guy like Earl Thomas who wants to be paid. You give Seattle a number 2 pick, and you still have to try to sign Earl Thomas. All right? And if you don't give him what he wants, he walks. He walks. So that's just not a smart idea. It really is a smart idea. Sounds all good, sounds nice. Earl Thomas is still a terrific player. But I'm not giving Earl Thomas that much money. And I can't re-sign him. Nah, I'm good. I'll keep my 2nd round pick. Develop a guy with less money. And a guy's what you don't know when you draft younger players, it increases your salary cap. So you can let older guys walk past, let older guys walk. You let a guy like Earl Thomas go, you can easily pick up a compensation pick. You know, we got a compensation pick coming 4th round for Dontari Poole. So, like I said, man, it really isn't. It really isn't as, you know, as bad as it may look right now. The future for the Atlanta Falcons, you can get Keanu Neal back, and he's back from his ACL tear, doing what he does best. He's healthy. You get Rico Allen back. This Falcons defense is just much, much better. And you continue to draft guys. Yeah, this team can be big. I'm not concerned about it. I'm really not concerned about it, man. I think the Falcons are in good position going down. But if I had to you know, make a pick on the season, I think we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 7-9 and 8-8, because this offense is too good, and at some point, you know, the defense is going to step up like they did today. Just didn't have plays. They just didn't make the play when it count the most. And we have to give it to the Bengals. This Bengals offense, we're talking about A.J. Green. A.J. Green, elite receiver. This Bengals has a pretty good offense. All right. So let's give it to the Bengals, man. They played a pretty damn good, you know, pretty good game. A.J. Green did what A.J. Green did. And that's just the bottom line. And that's the bottom line because Mad Mike said so. Yeah, Kamal Ishmael is on the special team. He really doesn't get much playing time at all. So Kamal Ishmael is on the special teams. And the most elite quarterback ever with no championship. Do you know how many quarterbacks in the history of the game that hasn't won championships, but they are in the Hall of Fame? Why do I say that? Because winning championships is a team game. We've seen that with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the prime example. How many games have you seen from Tom Brady in championship game where he was the sole reason he played terrific and he didn't benefit from the kicker or benefit from their defense making plays? Tom Brady is the prime example of that. Benefiting from, you know, other players making plays in the Super Bowl, and he gets all the credit for it. Dan Marino is one of the greatest coaches all time. He doesn't have a ring. Jim Kelly is another guy, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Warren Moon, these guys are terrific quarterbacks, and they have never won a Super Bowl. Winning championships are a team. Okay? It's all about team winning championships. Steve McNair, exactly. Steve McNair is another guy, another quarterback. Winning championship is all about team. Everything has to come together. So we can sit up here and say, oh, Matt Ryan need to do this better. No, defense and head coaches are just as important in winning championships as the quarterback. Dan Marino, like I said, we get so carried away with championships and end results and, oh, we didn't win this. Oh, Matt Ryan didn't do this. He putting up big numbers and whatnot. But, you know, if you have a defense that doesn't make plays in the right position, and this is why Tom Brady has 5 fucking rings. If you go back and look at all the championships outside of that first one, you know, even if, let's say he drove, you know, the Patriots down and, you know, Adam Vinatieri missed the field goal. Adam Vinatieri missed that field goal. We never even talking about Tom Brady anymore. If, what's the guy named, the cornerback against the Seattle Seahawks. If the Seattle Seahawks, Malcolm Butler, if he doesn't make that interception at the goal line, on Russell Wilson. We're not talking about Tom Brady. We've had so many times where on that Patriots teams have made plays, and yet Tom Brady gets all the credit. He gets all the fucking credit. Okay. And great, yes, that's a great point. Fran Tarkin is another one. Oh man, y'all are absolutely crazy. That's and see, man. Like I said, we give so much credit for the end result, but one thing I always want to give the Patriots credit for, even though I think they are one of the most overrated franchises of all time because they benefit from cheating for years. These guys have cheated. They cheated the Colts out of championships. They cheated the Pittsburgh Steelers out of championships. I mean, these guys are wiring players when it wasn't, when it wasn't okay to wire guys, to steal guys' signs, recording people. These guys benefit from these things. But one thing I do give them credit for, these guys know how to make plays, defensively, whether it's defensively, special teams. These guys always made the play at the right. Defensively, they've always made the play at the right time. But like they said, man, if Seattle and Atlanta would have just ran the damn ball late in the game, you looking at Falcons with their first Super Bowl, and you looking at Seattle beating, the great Tom Brady. Just stupid coaching decision. That's why I say, we look at the quarterbacks for being so, with getting all the accolades and the glory for it. But if you don't have a total team, coaching, defense, offense, special teams, all working and together, you're not going to win championships. Don't care how good you are. You got to change Raymond. That's a great point. If Vic would have just got, serious about football and not just worried about his athleticism, the Falcons probably would have won, something. But that didn't happen. But that's what I say, man. It's all a team effort. Can't just focus on one player and, get one player. You can't focus on one player and you can't, place blame on one guy. Matt Ryan is one of many on this team. And you need the defense to step up and make plays when they have to. And the Falcons consistently, hasn't made plays in the key moment. But good gracious, man. I think, David, we'll beat the Steelers. I know Steelers defense, their secondary is out. All right. These guys are absolutely garbage. Those guys are terrible. I'm not worried about them. They most definitely have to double Julio. No one on that Steelers secondary can guard Julio or Calvin really one-on-one. So I don't think, the Falcons will have any problem scoring next game, but defensively we have to stop them. That's where I think, again, one of my early keys to the games is that the Falcons had to control the clock and they have to play better on third down. They have to get better at getting off the field on third down. This was the key to this game. Falcons didn't, get off on third down, and, the Bengals just took total advantage of the linebackers on third down using that drag play, running away from true front and the receivers, and attacking the Falcons linebackers with those wide receiver drag. That was open on third down pretty much all game. That's Deion Jones, because Deion Jones, he would chase that receiver down with his 4.4 speed. Yeah. That guy is a tremendous, tremendous player for the Atlanta Falcons. And we're missing Deion Jones more than Keanu Neal and more than Rico Allen at this point. Deion Jones' loss was a big, 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 big injury for the Falcons. Jerron Woods, now you can't just. This is not how the NFL works. All right, this is not just like Madden. This is not like the NBA where you can just trade people. You have to find a way to get guys. It has to make sense in the NFL money wise as far as the salary cap is concerned. And I don't know too many teams. Maybe the Jets would give up a second round or a first rounder for Devontae Freeman, but not too many guys, not too many teams are going to trade, for a Devontae Freeman, especially if right now we don't know if he's going to be back healthy. You don't trade, a second rounder for a guy you're not sure of right now, and especially for a guy that's is $15 million a year as a running back. Coleman fits the outside zone scheme, but then again, Coleman, I don't think Coleman is a feature back. I really don't think Coleman is a feature back. He doesn't have the vision, and he's clumsy at times. He misses holes. He misses, wide open holes, cut back lanes. He doesn't have the ability to cut back like a Freeman and Ito Smith. So I don't think Coleman is a feature back, but I think he has the capability of being a feature back. So you don't give him that much money. And I think that is why I say Falcons may retain Coleman, but not at the money that I expect. Well, I did expect, somewhere in the neighborhood close to Devontae Freeman, where he's going to be making 15, for $45 million. I don't think Coleman gets that contract because I haven't seen his ability to be a feature back I think Ito Smith is tremendously. Ito Smith has played well. I like what I've seen for Ito. But the Falcons have to do a better job of sacking Ben Roethlisberger and forcing him to make bad throws. So that has to come with pressure up the middle. Jack Crawford, Genius, not Graves guys have to play well. Tat McKinley is going to be Tat McKinley. Vic Beasley is going to be Vic Beasley. Dan Quinn knows how to coach some defense, man. James Conner, King, you look everybody except for the Falcons. It seems like you make it like everybody except for the Falcons. It is what it is. Do what you do, man. Like I said, do what you do, man. It is. Man, I got. I see we got a Julio fan. Julio. All right, shit. I love Julio too. I like Julio too. It's all good, baby. But yeah, my throat is hurting, man. I appreciate everybody for joining in, man. Again, I will do these lives every single game. Maybe doing them a lot more often because I see that you guys love them. Falcons fans, your boy Mad Mike is out, man. And man, my voice hurt. I'm gonna go get some hot tea, and try to get some game in before I have to do a show tonight. Oh my gosh, so much talking. Love my Falcons football, but look like the Giants. Oh my gosh, it is what it is. Look like New Orleans is going to beat the Giants right now, but going to go check out some football games before I leave, man. Peace, everybody. Again, man, I would love if you guys can share some of my videos and get some people Have to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the love. Your boy Mad Mike is out, man. I'm gone. Peace.